You're 14 years old, and your father just sold your future to a knight you've never met. Not literally sold, but close enough. You're a page now, the lowest rung on the ladder to knighthood, and you have no idea what you've signed up for. Welcome to medieval Europe, where armor is heavy, honor is expensive, and most people who start this journey never finish it. Page, the servant child. You're a child doing a man's job. Your day starts before dawn because you're responsible for waking your knight. You dress him, polish his armor, prepare his meals, and clean his chamber pot. Yes, you're basically a medieval personal assistant, except you're 12 and you don't get paid. You're not here to learn combat yet. You're here to learn servitude. You're taught manners, basic reading if you're lucky, and how to serve wine without spilling it on nobles who could have your family ruined with a single complaint. You sleep on the floor outside your knight's room, eat leftovers, and wear hand-me-downs that don't fit. The other pages? They're your competition. Everyone's trying to impress the same knights, get the same recommendations, avoid the same punishments. It's like an unpaid internship where failure means you go back to being a peasant farmer forever. Most kids wash out here. They can't handle the humiliation, the exhaustion, or the fact that they're essentially medieval interns with no labor laws to protect them. You get hit for mistakes, a lot. Burn the breakfast? Slap. Forgot to polish a gauntlet? Backhand. Spilled wine during a feast? You're sleeping outside tonight, and you take it because this is your only shot at becoming something more than dirt poor. Squire, the overworked assistant. You survived being a page. Congratulations. Now you're a squire, which means you've graduated from servant to better equipped servant. You're older now, maybe 16, and you're finally allowed to train with weapons. But don't get excited, you're still doing all the grunt work. You maintain your knight's armor, weapons, and horses. You follow him to tournaments and battles, carrying his equipment like a pack mule. During combat, you're his backup, handing him weapons, protecting his flanks, and praying you don't get killed by someone who actually knows what they're doing. Training is brutal. You're learning swordsmanship, horsemanship, and lance work, but you're doing it in whatever spare time exists between your endless chores. You practice until your arms go numb, get knocked off horses repeatedly, and spar with other squires who are just as desperate to prove themselves. Here's the dark part. You're in battles now, but you're not a knight. You don't get the honor, the ransom money, or the glory. You get the risk with none of the reward. If you die, you're a footnote. If you survive and perform well, maybe you get knighted. But plenty of squires serve for decades and never get that ceremony. They're just permanent assistants who happen to know how to fight. The politics are worse than the combat. You're competing with other squires for your knight's favor, for recognition, for that one chance to prove you deserve knighthood. You're watching peers get knighted while you're still polishing swords at 25, wondering what you did wrong. Knight Bachelor, the entry-level warrior. You did it. You got knighted. You're a Knight Bachelor, the lowest rank of actual knighthood, but still, you made it. You've got armor, a sword, a horse, and absolutely no money to maintain any of it. Here's what they don't tell you. Being a knight is expensive. Your armor costs more than a peasant makes in 10 years. Your warhorse costs more than a house. Maintenance, food, lodging, weapons, it all adds up. And you're expected to fund it yourself unless you're lucky enough to be in someone's household. You're a freelance warrior now. You fight in tournaments for prize money, serve lords for payment, and hope you don't get killed before you can afford to repair your equipment. Tournaments aren't the romantic jousts you see in movies. They're brutal, bloody events where knights die regularly, and nobody cares because you signed up for this. In actual warfare, you're finally getting respect. You can take prisoners for ransom, claim spoils, and build a reputation. But you're also a target. Enemy knights want your armor. Archers don't care about your honor. And if you're captured, you better hope your family can afford the ransom, because if they can't, you're rotting in a dungeon. The jealousy among knights is vicious.
But sir,
Everyone's
the odds?
fighting for the same tournament prizes, the same lord's favor, the same limited opportunities for advancement. You're constantly proving yourself, constantly competing, constantly one bad day away from being broke
You
and
dare
irrelevant.
question my orders? Your orders
Knight
will get us
Banneret,
all killed.
the commander.
Insolent fool, stand down.
You've climbed higher.
I was
You're a
following
Knight Banneret
orders.
now.
Your orders
You
were
command
clear.
other
But
knights in battle.
circumstances changed.
You have
Explain.
your own banner, your own unit, and actual authority. This is middle management, medieval style, and it comes with all the stress you'd expect. You're responsible for the men under your command. Their
Please, take the
success
ivy on
is
the
your
east wing
success.
and trim
Their
the hedges
failures
along
are
the
your
path.
failures. If they break in battle,
Knights,
it's your
ready
fault.
stances.
If they
Good.
die
Raise your
stupidly,
swords high.
you take the
Now
blame.
strike.
You're trying to keep them alive
The
while
southern
also
passes
achieving
must be secured
objectives
first.
that often require
Agreed,
some
but
of
the
them to
eastern
die.
lords demand trade
It's an
concessions.
impossible balance. The politics are suffocating now. You're dealing with lords above you, knights below you, and rivals beside you who all want your position. You're in strategy meetings where everyone's trying to look smart
These accounts are
while
endless.
proposing
These
plans
scrolls
that will
make
get
no
people
sense.
killed.
My head hurts
You're
from all this.
managing
I can't do this.
egos, settling disputes, and
rendered
trying to
my
build
judgment.
alliances with people you don't
There will
trust.
be no further
In
debate.
battle, you're making life or death decisions constantly. Send your men to take that position, and some will die. Don't
This
send them,
crack is a weak
and your
point.
lord will
Yes,
question
sire.
your courage.
Check the tower for more
Every
damage.
choice
Right away.
haunts you.
My
You
lords,
see
we
the
must address
faces of
unrest.
men who
Sire, the
died
northern
because
barons
of your
demand
orders.
concessions. Appeasement now
You
invites
tell
peace
yourself it
defiance.
was
A delicate balance
necessary.
is required.
Sometimes you even believe it. You've got land now, income, respect. You're not struggling financially anymore. But you're also stuck in this weird middle space where you're important enough to be blamed for everything, but not powerful enough to make decisions that actually matter. Baron, the landholder. You're a baron now. You've got serious land,
We must
a
find a
castle,
compromise.
tenants,
Your terms are
and a seat at the
unacceptable. Then
political
propose an
table.
alternative. Equality
You're not
is our
just a
demand.
warrior
Welcome,
anymore.
nobles. Your
You're
visit
an
honors us. The honor is
administrator,
ours, sire.
judge,
This alliance
and
strengthens
lord.
our realms
And it's
secures
more
our shared
complicated
future.
than any battle
You
you've ever
betrayed
fought.
me. It was
You're
necessary.
managing estates,
could you?
collecting
Left me no
taxes,
choice.
settling disputes between peasants who all hate each other, and trying to keep your lands profitable enough to maintain your military obligations. Because yes, you're still expected to show up with knights and soldiers when your liege calls. Except now you're funding them yourself. The politics are brutal. Other barons are your rivals for resources, influence, and power. The king or duke above you is constantly demanding more while giving less. You're in a perpetual game of chess where every move matters, and one major mistake can cost you everything. You're still fighting in wars, but now you're leading larger forces and the stakes are higher. You're not just risking your life, you're risking your lands, your family's future, your legacy. If you lose, you lose everything. If you win, you might gain more. But you've also made new enemies who will spend years plotting revenge. You don't trust anyone completely. Your fellow barons smile while scheming. Your own knights might be loyal or might be waiting for you to show weakness.
Approach,
You sleep
my
in a
honored
castle,
guest.
but
Thank
you're
you, Your
never truly
Majesty.
safe.
You have earned this seat.
Earl/Count, the regional power. You've reached the upper echelon. You're an earl or count, controlling multiple baronies and wielding real political power. You're in the inner circle now, advising royalty, commanding armies, and shaping policy. You've made it, and you're more paranoid than you've ever been. Because at this level, everyone wants what you have. Other
This
earls
failure
are
is
maneuvering
mine.
against
I
you.
accept the blame.
Ambitious barons
make
beneath
this
you are
right.
waiting for you to slip. The king above you trusts you about as far as he can throw your castle. You're powerful, but power makes you a target.
Try this
You're not
first.
fighting in
Yes,
the
my
front
lord.
lines anymore.
Well,
You're commanding
is it safe?
campaigns, planning strategy,
this game?
managing
Game of strategy,
logistics.
child. One
You're
where we are
responsible
all
for
pawns.
thousands of
And
men
queens.
and the
My lords, I
outcomes
have
of
no
entire
heirs. The
wars.
dynasty is at risk.
When
Your
things
Majesty,
go
we must
wrong,
secure the
kingdoms
succession. We will
fall,
find a
and you're the
solution, sire.
scapegoat. The loneliness is crushing. You can't trust your peers. They're rivals. You can't fully
must
trust
agree
your
on fair
subordinates.
terms.
They're
Security is our top
ambitious.
concern.
You
Economic
can't even
ties
fully
will bind
trust
us.
your
Agreed,
family.
let us sign.
Succession politics are
Sacrifices have
vicious.
made way heavily on
You're
you.
surrounded by
Personal
people
cost is
and
real.
utterly alone. You've sacrificed everything to get here. Your youth, your innocence, your relationships, your peace of mind. You've ordered men to their deaths. You've made brutal decisions. You've become exactly what you needed to become to survive. And now that you're here, you realize the view from the
Your
top is
ancestors
just a
await
better
you.
angle to see
I
all the
see you.
threats
Guide
coming
me.
for you.
Embrace the journey.
The
Transform.
truth. This is what it was like to climb the knightly ranks. From page to earl, every step required
I carry
sacrifice.
this weight for all
Most
of
who
us,
started
but the
never
path feels
finished.
too great.
Those who
Rest now.
finished paid
We will
prices
carry
they
on.
never expected.
Sire, the war is
The
endless.
medieval
We are
world
losing
wasn't
ground.
romantic.
How can this be?
It was a meat
This
grinder
conflict
wrapped
must
in
end.
ceremony, where honor was expensive and survival was never guaranteed. The pages who couldn't handle the humiliation, the squires who died before getting knighted, the knights who went broke maintaining the image, the commanders who cracked under the pressure, the lords who lost everything in one bad battle. For every earl at the top, there were thousands of broken dreams beneath them. And the ones who made it? They looked down from their castles and realized they traded their humanity for power, their peace for position, their lives for legacy. They won the game, but the prize was a lifetime of paranoia, responsibility, and the knowledge that everything they built could collapse at any moment. This was knighthood, not the fairy tale, the reality.